Oh my god, hey! So, the big news in West End Theatreland today is that Bernadette Peters, Broadway legend, personal hero of mine, has cancelled her upcoming UK tour dates, including a London performance at the Lyceum Theatre, which I am really sad about because I was hoping to go to her concert on Monday night, but I had been curious as to why tickets hadn't been selling particularly well. It all emerges today that this is the latest theatrical venture of infamous British producer Neil Eckersley on behalf of his latest group, Speckulation Limited. And the announcement came and said that the dates were going to be cancelled due to unforeseen circumstances and a failure to fulfill contractual obligations. Now, I wanted to make this video and sort of bring to light a lot of information that has emerged about this and a lot of information from the past few years of his other failed ventures, because I'm seeing a lot of misplaced anger and a lot of misplaced blame where people are getting cross at Bernadette Peters for cancelling her concert dates. People are, because it was labelled as a failure to meet contractual obligations, a lot of people think that she had a lot of big diva demands, and that's absolutely not true. I want to bring to light the real issue of what has happened here so that people know where to place the blame. So, this was being produced by Neil Eckersley, who has gained a reputation in the past few years for failed theatrical ventures. Most notably was last year's UK tour of Wonderland, starring Kerry Ellis. It was due to come down here, actually, to the Pavilion Theatre in Bournemouth. It never made it here. I think at the time it was said there were issues with sound equipment, or the sound equipment was pulled. He was then announced to be co-producing, putting it together at the Hope Mill in Manchester, and a lot of performers, including the West End's Natalie McQueen, were a bit shocked to read this news because he still owed them money from the last project he'd worked on. Before that, he was supposed to be producing the UK tour of Bring It On, and that has been postponed until 2019. It is 2019. I haven't seen it around yet. And this goes as far back as 2013, when he was meant to be producing Kristen Chenoweth's concert dates in the UK. That fell through as well, and when somebody asked her on Twitter as to why it was, she said because there were no tickets, there were no work permits, and nothing had been done. And she was understandably very cross about the situation, as I'm sure Bernadette Peters is as well. So whether because Bernadette Peters obviously is another American performer, the work permits weren't sorted in time to bring her over here, even though there was presumably months of notice in order to get that done, that would be my best guess as to what has happened here. An interesting contrast is that just this week, Kayala Settle reached out to Darren Bell and Take Two Theatricals on behalf of their Club 11 London project. Amazing concerts that they're doing towards the end of this year. Kelly O'Hara is another one. And Kayala Settle reached out and they organised an event, and it had sold out within 18 hours, and then a couple of days later she was performing to a sold-out crowd in the Hippodrome Casino in London. Like, this amazingly all came together in the last minute, and by contrast, Neil Eckersley couldn't organise a piss up in a brewery, by the sounds of it. There was another concert series that he'd done with John Owen Jones and Gareth Gates as well, back in 2013, that the stage reported over a year later they still hadn't received payment for, and more performers are now coming out of the woodwork to say, do not work with this man. What I don't understand is why venues are continuing to work with him, why the people at the Lyceum, why ATG, Ambassador Theatre Group, are continuing to support him after Bring It On was supposed to be going to ATG venues. It was supposed to be going to the New Victoria Theatre in Woking, and then that tour got postponed. I'm sure that Wonderland went to ATG venues as well. I don't know why they are continuing to support the work of this man, who in the nicest possible way should just have nothing to do with live entertainment or theatre, because there are clearly issues at play here. Now, he's not a big social media user, so we haven't heard his side of the story, but always there a lynch mob on Twitter waiting to. What I will say is that obviously there are two sides to this. We don't really know what has gone on, but I think at some point a reputation starts to speak for itself, and people should probably be a bit more careful about who they work with. Hopefully, somebody like Club 11 London and the amazing work that they're doing, hopefully they can bring Bernadette Peters over towards the end of this year, because I love her and I want to see her. But, moral of the story, don't be mad at Bernadette, and careful booking tickets in advance to anything by Neil Eckersley and Speckulation Limited. like the company's name is literally Speckulation Limited. I find that hilarious.